Cartoon creators are always trying to make their show the next biggest and best thing for adults and children, so they often create a complex or mysterious character that raises more questions than it answers. From the beautiful Miss Bellum in the Powerpuff Girls to the parents of Cow and Chicken, here are 5 cartoon characters who secretly revealed their faces. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos every day. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Miss Bellum Face Reveal. Most children from the 1990s spent their entire childhood wondering what Miss Sarah Bellum from the Powerpuff Girls looked like. Most children then grew up without ever knowing what she truly looked like. Did it affect how they turned out as people? Who knows? All we know is the Powerpuff Girls was awesome, and the mystery of what Miss Bellum looked like was just one part of how brilliant this absolute gem of a show was. Miss Bellum, voiced by Jennifer Martin, is the mayor's deputy. She has red hair, red shoes, a red dress, and a curvaceous figure that matches her throaty, authoritative voice. To anyone who sees her, she is quite clearly the brains of the mayoral operation. But she manages to do all of that, including drawing you in with her captivating allure without ever showing her face. Whenever you see her in the Powerpuff Girls episodes, something will always cut her face off. Sometimes it's the camera angle that removes everything from the neck up. Other times, her hair will cover her face to stop you from seeing it. If she is ever the center of attention, there is a lot of clever camera trickery to prevent kids from getting a glimpse at her face. But if you look at her outfit, her figure, posture, and general air of elegance, you would rightly assume she's attractive. The dialogue of other characters who say she's pretty is a testament to this fact as well. The talking dog may not think so, but who's going to listen to a talking dog? But what if we told you that Miss Bellum did show her face, and you just missed it? We're not lying. It really happened. In the episode, The Powerpuff Girls Rule, viewers were shown Miss Bellum's face for the first time. It wasn't a grand reveal of mammoth proportions though. In fact, you could only see part of her face, and for a nanosecond, but it was enough to get an idea of what she truly looked like. It would take a camera slowing down to see it, and that's what people did. They took the footage, slowed it down, captured the image, and now it's online for the world to see. She has one eye visible, but closed, and the other is covered by her long, beautiful red hair. There is also one black eyelash over the visible eye, a closed red mouth, and a line going through it to form her lips, which looks sad. The other characters weren't lying. She is beautiful, but it would be interesting to find out what she looks like front on. I guess we'll never know. Number 4. Cow and Chicken's parents. If you were to watch the American animated comedy series Cow and Chicken as an adult, you would be scratching your head at the impossibility of it all. Here we have a cow and a chicken, who are siblings, with human parents. Human parents, may we add, who didn't have all too much imagination, for they named their cow and chicken children just that, Cow and Chicken. Man alive, the 90s were certainly something, weren't they? But the feasibility of the TV show for children is not in question. Just who the parents are is. In every episode, all you see is the parents from the waist down. There never seems to be any attempts to give them an upper half of their body, or even play around with the camera trickery to hide it. But there are 2, and maybe more, occasions where we come to realize they are not hiding their full bodies from us. They just aren't there. Both mom and dad appear in the kitchen in one scene, which is often where we see much of their crazy and insane dialogue and life advice. But instead of the camera zooming in on dad's green and yellow pants with brown shoes, and mom's polka dot dress with a yellow apron, we see the kitchen too. We then come to know that mom and dad are actually cut off from the waist down, and there is no upper body to show. If that's not weird enough, because we all know that bodies can't really work without the top half, we then see their top half in another episode. In Cow and Chicken Reclining, Chicken pulls a whole heap of items out of his closet, where he then discovers what appears to be mom and dad from the mid-area upward. Cow interjects and calls them his science project, which adds an air of doubt over whether they were really the upper halves of their bodies at all. If they are, then we now know what they look like, and we have to piece them together from 2 different episodes. Dad has a green short-sleeved shirt, red tie, and short red hair with a long nose. Mom has a yellow sleeveless shirt with pink dots and a pink collar. She also has short blonde hair, a pink bow, and pink lipstick. Number 3. Mammy Two Shoes from Tom and Jerry. There are almost no children pre-2000s who haven't heard of or watched Tom and Jerry. This cartoon was popular with the masses, debuting in 1940 and appearing on screens with fresh episodes until 1967. It won 7 Academy Awards for short films, and then became the highest-grossing animated short film series of the era. Fans were adoring of the comical fights between a house cat named Tom and a clever mouse called Jerry. While there is no dialogue between the mouse and cat, there is often a little bit from a recurring minor character by the name of Mammy Two Shoes, perhaps the most iconic of all the cartoon characters with a hidden face. Mammy Two Shoes is an African-American housemaid who cares for the house in which Tom and Jerry live. While she has been edited out in several recent TV showings due to racism, she is related to the culture at the time. In almost all episodes, you only ever see Mammy Two Shoes' body, but never see her face. She's heavy-set, wears a purple dress and red shoes, and chastises Tom whenever he would play up. But in the 48th episode, viewers were finally treated to her face. Mammy Two Shoes appeared in her entirety in Saturday Evening Puss. She had gone out with her friends, and Tom had decided to have a party while she was gone. Jerry was thrown out of the party and decided to tell on Tom to get revenge on him. She came home again, and you can see her imposing figure storming down a residential street. She's wearing a red hat, red lipstick, and has short black hair hidden under her dress hat. So, if you've always wondered what Mammy Two Shoes looks like, now you know. Number 2. Eddy's brother from Ed, Edd and Eddy. We know the names of most cartoon characters, even if we don't see their faces. However, in the case of Eddy's brother from Ed, Edd and Eddy, we only get to know him as Eddy's brother, and we only see him once. Ed, Edd and Eddy was a popular Canadian-American cartoon from the 1990s. It followed 3 Peach Creek preteens, Ed, Edd and Eddy, who got up to some strife in their neighborhood on several occasions. What most people recognize prominently about this show is that even though these boys had families, including parents and siblings, you never got to see them. Eddy's brother is one of those characters. Eddy always talks about how cool his brother is, and even the other boys do as well. Eddy calls him Big Bro. Ed calls him Mr. Eddy's brother. Rolf calls him Elder One. Naz calls him Mr. Macho Man. And Kevin calls him Bro Guy. Did the cartoon creators just forget to give him a name? Or was it their plan all along? And what about his face? It wasn't until the Ed, Edd and Eddy movie did we actually get to learn what he looked like, as he appeared as the main antagonist. He's a head taller than Eddy, has a brown newsboy cap, a yellow sports jersey sporting the number 62, a red flannel jacket, green and gray shoes, and khaki pants. He also has a wallet chain, a fashion statement of the 1990s that looks the same as Eddy's. Eddy's brother is also portrayed to look as cool as the boys make him out to be in their various descriptions and stories of him. He has a short goatee, a pair of sunglasses, and macho mannerisms that tie in with what Naz, Kevin's love interest, calls him. More notable is the fact that Eddy's brother is the only adult character to appear and speak in Ed, Edd and Eddy. We are also able to learn a lot about him through the other characters before we even see him. We find out he's lactose intolerant, that Eddy gets a lot of his hand-me-downs, and that the last word he ever spoke in the show is uncle. Number 1. Kenny from South Park. Time for a slightly more, by which we mean very much more, adult cartoon. South Park is an animated sitcom for adults that has made people laugh since 1997. It's dark, borderline inappropriate, and revolves around 4 boys and their shenanigans in a small town in Colorado. This cartoon is not for children and is more than certainly aimed at mature audiences, with a passion for dark humor and edgy topics. The more episodes of South Park you watch, the more you get to enjoy and understand each character's intricacies. Kyle is portrayed as the group's lone Jew, while Stan is an average American kid. Eric Cartman, on the other hand, is obnoxious, loud, and quite clearly the show's antagonist. Then there's Kenny, and he's the character that has the most question marks over his head in every episode. He's from a poor family and wears a vibrant orange parka in every episode. It's pulled tightly over his head so that you can't see his face, and it also muffles his speech. You can never tell what he's saying, or what he even looks like. In the first 5 seasons of South Park, Kenny would end up dying in almost every episode, using the same dialogue of, "You killed Kenny." He would then reappear in the next episode without any explanation or reference to his death. In Season 6, he was written out of the show, but reappeared in the season finale. The death scenes were eventually phased out. Most viewers were intrigued by Kenny because he was one of the only characters shrouded in mystery. What was his real voice? What was his real face? Would we ever see it? Fans' wishes were granted in the movie South Park produced, called South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. In 7 seconds of footage, Kenny takes off his hood to reveal light, sandy, and messy hair, underneath an average American child voice. That 6 seconds answered many questions for avid South Park fans. Cartoon creators like to keep their audiences asking questions. They also like to keep a few things shrouded in mystery. As it turns out, Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine offers more clarity than some of the characters above. Can you think of any others that hide their face? Have you seen them accidentally in secret footage? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen now. See you next time!